Hey. My name is Teresa Matsura, author of the Book of Japanese Folklore and podcaster here at Uncanny Japan, my little place where I tell you about all the obscure nooks and crannies of Japanese culture. In today's episode, I'll be telling you about someone I've had a crush on for the past couple years, Fudomyō, and also about a very cool fire ceremony that will burn away all your worldly desires, ignorance, and purify you. Fudomyō. To say he's fierce-looking is an understatement. He's got wild, often sparkling, angry eyes, a deep scowl with two fangs showing, one jutting up, one jutting down. Oftentimes, one of those eyes is a little squinty. Sometimes he even has a third eye. Sitting, dare I say immovably, on a large stone, in his right hand he grasps a sword, in his left a braided rope with a ring on one end, an animal trap. He's topless but for a sash around his muscled chest, tastefully layered skirts below. And if you didn't think all that wasn't glorious enough, behind him rages a blazing fire. Believe it or not, he's here to help you. So who is this Fudomyō? You've probably seen depictions of him, paintings and statues, for example. My rock carving teacher even hammer and chiseled his image, a giant one, into the side of a mountain near a waterfall. It took a couple years. Also, tattoos abound. But let me first tell you about his name. It means the immovable or unshakable one. Fudo means not moving or unmovable. And an interesting bit of trivia right off the bat is that a fudo-san, san being the kanji for assets or property, unmovable assets. What could it mean? If you guessed real estate, you would be correct. Houses and plots of lands don't move, so Fudo-san means real estate. That's boring. Let's get back to Fudomyō. So Fudo means unmovable. What is Myo? A Myo are wrathful-looking deities called mantra or wisdom kings in English. In Japan there are 5. One for each of the 4 directions, who also look very warrior-like, but with significantly more arms than Fudomyō, who is the leader of the pack and always standing in the middle. Even though he's all tough-looking on the outside, he's all squishy love and enlightenment on the inside. Because this immovable wisdom king is the personification of Dainichi Nyorai. That's a Buddha. Yes, a Buddha, not the Buddha. There are many different Buddhas. There's also the Buddha, but that's all for another episode. For now, just know that the Dainichi Nyorai in English is called the cosmic or all-encompassing Buddha. So he's a big deal, as is Fudomyō. But why so angry? Well, different reasons. One is that he converts that rage into salvation. Another is that he seeks to frighten the wishy-washy and bring them back to the sweet, gentle path of the Dainichi Nyorai. He actually cares about you. That sword he carries, it's to cut through ignorance so that wisdom can be found. That braided rope, it's not to trap animals, but to rescue people and to also catch and tie up demons. The flames behind him burn away the 3 poisons: greed, hatred, and ignorance. Oh, and that squinty eye? If you look carefully, one eye is wide and looking up toward heaven, the other narrowed and gazing down to earth. This symbolizes his watching over both heaven and earth, a protector of all existence. Briefly, of course, Fudomyō originated in India, traveled through China, and arrived in Japan in the 9th century. just like Buddhism itself did. The Myo were adopted too, and are important deities even today in esoteric Buddhism. Esoteric Buddhism is called Mikkyo, by the way, or secret teachings, and there are 3 traditions that are a part of these secret teachings: Shingon, Tendai, and Shugendo. Let's look at Shingon. It was founded by Kukai, who brought it back from China after the death of his Chinese teacher, and asked for formal approval to start his new religion. The imperial court made him wait 3 years before saying, "Sure, go ahead." Soon the emperor became interested in his teachings, and he appointed Kukai head of Todaiji Temple. You know, the famous one in Nara with the world's largest gilt bronze statue of the Buddha. He also gave Kukai an entire mountain, Mount Koya, to practice and teach in peace away from bustling Kyoto. One practice all these esoteric traditions do is called Goma. Goma comes from the Sanskrit word homa, which means fire offering or to burn. So, just like Fudomyō, the Goma fire ceremony's purpose is to burn away ignorance, worldly desires, and suffering. Through the years, I've had the wonderful opportunity to attend several of these myself, and I can attest they are visually striking, very powerful, and just incredible, and personally, a profound experience. The ones I went to went something like this. The room is a treasure itself, decorated with ancient Buddhist iconography, flowers, gold and red, dark wood, paper lanterns, and in the front of the room, a large statue, often but not always, of Fudomyō, staring down ready to exterminate all the bad energy and get down to some purification. A monk sits in the middle in front of a square area where the fire will be built. On either side, he has all sorts of sacred objects. There is also a pile of small pieces of wood called gomagi. Before the ceremony even starts, people have written their prayers and wishes on these. You can write anything you want, prayers for yourself or a loved one, for health or money. Doesn't matter, it's okay. They'll eventually be thrown into the fire once it gets going, symbolically offering up those prayers. Other monks sit stoically off to the side. Attendants are also sitting around the room. The ceremony starts slow with sutra chanting and drumming and the occasional bell ringing. The main monk both chants and carefully builds the fire. He'll also perform mudras. Mudras are those complicated hand gestures. Each one has a specific meaning and believed to influence the mind and body in a certain way. They're also used in meditation and yoga, and surely you've seen ninja use them. The Goma ceremony is extremely relaxing and meditative, almost trance-like. The chanting slowly speeds up, as does the rhythmic drumming. The gomagi, along with other various offerings like grains, rice, seeds, spices, different kinds of wood pellets, are all thrown into the fire to create a fragrant, enchanting, magical mood. So now you have all the monks chanting and keeping rhythm on the taiko, small and large, or ringing a bell in the right place. And you're experiencing this with all your senses. The fire is right in front of you, which is hypnotizing in and of itself. You can feel the heat coming off it, taste the ash that's flying about the room. The sutras are otherworldly, and the smells are just exotic and intoxicating. It doesn't matter if you can't understand the words. I think most Japanese can't either. The whole room just becomes transformed. And so by participating in such a ceremony, the purpose is to remove negative energy and purify both your mind and spirit. This Goma ceremony has always really resonated with me deeply, and whenever I have a chance, I attend one. let me leave you with an interesting tie-in to the classic book, The Tale of Genji. One of the things traditionally thrown into the Goma fire, and sometimes even now, are poppy seeds. They have a distinct, sweet, roasty smell. Since ancient times, they're believed to have great purification qualities and protect against negative energy. Well, in the tale of Genji, a noblewoman named Rokujo no Miyasudokoro, who was one of Prince Genji's lovers, becomes consumed with jealousy. This jealousy turns into an ikiryo, or a living spirit with bad intentions, and it haunts Genji's main wife, Aoi no Ue. Rokujo doesn't realize that her spirit, or part of her spirit, has broken off and is doing this terrible thing, basically a curse, until she notices one day the persistent smell of poppy seed smoke clinging to her hair, meaning that poor Aoi no Ue and Prince Genji were having Goma purification rituals performed on her. As she grew weaker, trying to exorcise the evil spirit. In this case, however, it didn't work, because Aoi no Ue eventually died from the curse. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.